We're live. And join in if you guys are out there. I'm about to eat dinner, so I'm going to try to squeeze in a live stream before dinner. Current time is 5:15 p.m. here on the Gulf Islands, and current temperature says 4 degrees Celsius. So it's cool because I do actually have it set on my computer now. So it's 4 degrees Celsius, which isn't too shabby. Clear skies, calm, cool conditions. So I just finished a 2 hour and 15-minute live stream on my other YouTube channel. I do video gates there, and video gates, that's radio stuff. So we call those video gates. Those live streams are video gates, and this is just a live stream podcast. So if you want to pop in and say hi, you got some exotic plant questions, you want to talk about food, you want to talk about travel, you want to talk about weather. Just talking to a friend that just is at the Maui airport right now, Kahului Airport. And I've been told by everybody there's still restrictions to go to Maui, but he said there is no restrictions to go to Maui. All the restrictions have been lifted. So that's a good thing. So not that I can go to Maui this year, but maybe if things are okay next year, Wendy and I could go to Maui. It'd sure be nice to go back to Maui. It's been, I'd be just getting back from Maui soon at this time of the years. 2019 was the last time we were there. Hey, Palm Planet, how's it going? It was 2019, December 2019, the last time we stepped foot on the Hawaiian Islands, and I would go every year. I've been to Hawaii 26 times now. I started going in the summer of 1986. That was the first time I got married there. I got married on the island of Oahu at the base of Diamond Head. Second time around, Wendy and I, we got married on Maui. I got Maui'd, so hopefully no more times. Saw all your vids from Victoria's. Yeah, there's lots. And, as soon as you get off the ferry, Palm Planet, as soon as you get off the Swartz Bay Ferry, well, first of all, when you're in Fulford Village on the south end of Salt Spring, you will see palm trees. There's palm trees in people's yards, right? Some big ones. But once you get off the ferry at Swartz Bay, so it's about a 35-minute ferry ride from the south end of Salt Spring to Swartz Bay. And then you drive to Victoria, right? But as soon as you get off the ferry, you drive a little bit for about maybe a minute, if that, not even a minute, and then you'll start to see palm trees in people's yards. And then you drive by like a trailer, kind of like they sell trailers and RVs, and they're lined with palm trees. I actually shot some short videos of it. I'll upload it. That's lined with palm trees. A little bit farther down, there's Elk Lake Nursery. They got those 30-footers in front of it. And when I was downtown Victoria, there was lots of southern magnolias everywhere too. They grow a lot of them there for street trees, but there was one magnolia, and it was a lot of flower buds. I counted at least half a dozen nice big flower buds. So if the weather continues to be mild the way it is, and Victoria has had zero snow. They haven't had any snow. We've had a couple of light snowfalls here, but it hasn't been that cold. And so the magnolia had flower buds on it. And then right across the street from the magnolia was probably a 60, 70 foot tall eucalyptus tree. And then in behind the magnolia was a big redwood tree. So there's lots of cool exotic plants in Victoria. They really like to use them in the landscape down there, which makes it more interesting. So you got somebody that's into landscaping there, and they were probably planted years ago, that plants things of more interest. Anybody can plant a pine tree or a juniper or mugo pine, but really, does it turn heads when you drive by? When you drive by a mugo pine tree, are you going to turn your head and look twice? No, you're not. But if you see a palm tree, you're going to look twice. Like in Washington, D.C., same thing. When you see a palm tree growing, you're going to stop, maybe ask some questions, right? Most common palm here is needle palm falsate and then trachys. A bit marginal, but some huge ones in there. Microclimate. Yeah, microclimate is the key. Yeah, some nice needle palms there. There was a guy today on in my Facebook group there. I think it was my Facebook group, or it might have been Zone Pushers, which isn't my group. And it was one or the other. I confused them all, but he said he knows of needle palms that have naturalized in Nova Scotia. I find that absolutely hard to believe that they've naturalized in Nova Scotia. Okay, it's a colder growing zone there than here. It's definitely cool all winter. I've had them flower here. I've never had seed on them, which means they had to flower, set seed, then the seed dropped, and then they sprouted, which I find very hard to believe. I said, you better post a picture of that thing, right? I'm not calling the guy a liar, but I find it hard to believe. Right? So I want to see it with my own eyes. I did know of one Rapidophyllum hystrix growing in a kind of a botanical type garden near Dartmouth slash Halifax. And I know people that live in Nova Scotia. I actually have friends that live in Nova Scotia. And this one guy, he was quite a common poster on the Canadian gardening site. And he would post, he sent me some pictures of a needle palm growing in the garden and a Trachycarpus palm. Well, the Trachycarpus palm is dead. It's gone. The needle palm is still there, I think. Well, the last time I saw it was 2 years ago. 2 years ago, it was still there. It did get some damage on it in the winter, a little bit of damage once in a while, but it was still, it was a pretty decent sized needle palm. But as for self-seeding in Nova Scotia, I doubt it. Sable Birmingham in a super palmy yard here. Cool. Birmingham is a tough palm. Sable Birmingham is a very tough palm tree. I've grown many of those from seed over the years and sold them. And a friend of mine in Nanaimo that lived, or actually Lanceville, which is about 40 miles north of our island or a little bit more, had one of mine in his garden and it actually flowered. Now, he never got seed on it, but it actually flowered. I got seed off and have them in the garden. That is cool. So it actually produced seed, you see. So in DC, you guys get the heat units, you see. So there's no way they're going to get enough heat units. Yeah. Well, one of these days, maybe you will visit Salt Spring Island. So you got to remember, we're only 100 miles north of Seattle as the crow flies. It's actually easy to get here. It's pretty easy to get to Salt Spring Island, okay? You can only get here by ferry, but there's actually a Victoria Clipper that goes, it runs between Victoria and Seattle. And I think it's only a passenger ferry, but there's also another ferry, and I've been on it a few times, that runs from Port Angeles to Victoria. And it's called the Coho Ferry, the Black Ball Ferry System. And it runs from Port Angeles in Washington. And you cruise over, it's an hour and a half cruise over to Victoria. And you have your car on there, and then you just drive up to Swartz Bay Ferry Terminal. And then you take that one to Fulford on Salt Spring Island, and you're on Salt Spring Island, right? It's free to get off of Salt Spring Island if you're going to go to Vancouver Island. And it's, well, you never know. One day you might visit here, or if you can get up to Victoria, lots of palm trees in Victoria. There's palm trees freaking everywhere. And lots of, like I say, southern magnolias, redwoods, huge monkey tree. I saw a monkey tree yesterday. I took a picture of it. I'm going to say it was probably about 100 feet tall. I've been to Port Angeles, gorgeous. Okay, cool. Are amazing. Never been to Pacific. Okay, so I stayed in Port Angeles. So when I go to the Oregon coast, we take the ferry across from Victoria, and actually the U.S. Customs, the customs is right there at the ferry terminal in Victoria. It's super cool. They come up to your car, show them your passport. Are you bringing anything across? Blah, 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 whatever. No. So when you get off the ferry in Port Angeles, you just basically drive off the ferry, which is kind of cool because they've already checked you in Victoria. And one time it was a little later when we got over, so we stayed in a hotel in Port Angeles. Then we continued our journey as we head southward to the Oregon coast. But you can either go right and head right on to Highway 1, but we go left and we go over to Sequim, and then we drive down to Olympia, which is the capital. Then we go to the coast, which is Aberdeen, and then you're on Highway 1, and then we go to Astoria and then do our journey from there. My king palm canches and Nikes are no damage. Jacaranda. Wow, I'm amazed. Never got cold enough there then. Wow, cool. It's 4 degrees here right now, 4 degrees under clear sky tonight. I have family in Montreal and friends in, oh, wow, been to Toronto. See, I've never been there. It's a long way from here. You know, Montreal and Ontario is like, to fly there is like over 5 hours from here. I can get to Hawaii at the same time. Do you label yourself as a Pacific North? Well, we're still Northwest. Yeah, we're still in the Pacific Northwest. We're off in Canada. We're off the southwest coast of Canada. We're on the Pacific. We're off the Pacific coast of Canada. That's where I'm in Canada. But as a whole, we are in the Northwest, really. Southwest coast of British Columbia, Washington, Oregon is, coastal here is the Northwest, right? Anyways, hey, neighbor from Washington. Cool. Yeah. Our islands are just across from Washington State. If I took a boat from where I live here and I went straight across at the same latitude, I'd be in Birch Bay, Washington. On the south end of our island would be in Bellingham, Washington. One sea there, so not too bad. Toronto is awesome if you like the big city, which I do less, but like a less crowded New York's. Yeah. I've never been to any of those places. My youngest son has been to New York. He travels a lot. He's got his best friend lives in Georgia, so he goes down to Georgia. And then him and his friend went up to New York. It was a couple of years ago. And Wendy's son has been to New York, I think once or twice. Lots of good places to eat there. And yeah, you like big cities, that's for sure. Oh, you'd like Vancouver. Vancouver's a pretty good city, and lots to do there. And Victoria's not a big city. 2 Celsius here, usually cold. Yeah, 2 Celsius isn't bad. January temps this week. Cool. Yeah, our forecast is just sunshine. I see some temperatures down to -1, but high temperatures around 6 degrees. So not too bad, but it's going to be clear, going to be sunny in the day and clear at night. So you're going to get cooler temperatures when there's no cloud cover, right? Because those kind of like insulate a little bit. But yeah, it's clear and cool out there right now. Usually we have highs around 50 at this time of the year. See, that's good. I'll tell you what our normals are. I can look right now. It'll tell me right on my Gulf Island weather site. I'm thinking normals for this time are probably around 6 or 7, 7 maybe, something like that. This far north. Normals are normals. Where's my normals? Usually it says normals. Normals 6 and 1. Normals for this time of the year are 6 and 1 this far north. Did you get Christmas snow last year? No, we didn't get any Christmas snow. No, it came after Christmas. There was no snow on Christmas. The good thing, we had the snow the last week of December after Christmas, and it got cold. You're one of those Christmas nuts. Well, that's good. We don't even have our tree up yet. I used to go gung-ho when our kids were small. I'd even dress up as Santa, for my kids' daycare. It was awesome. And I'd even dress up as Santa here sometimes too. But summer's so humid. Yeah, we don't have the humid summers. They do in Ontario, Montreal. I'll be glad when the freeze is over, but I can't complain too much. This one on the worst freeze. They're fine. Bougainvillea still has flowers. Cool. Well, if it didn't get cold enough to kill bougainvillea, then it's not that. Garden is fine. Annuals are still going. I hung up the quick Christmas swags at work last week, and all the hanging baskets have flowers in them still. It has not been cold enough in most parts of Ireland. There's some areas of our island I drove through yesterday, about 12 miles south of where we are here, and you should see the snow, man. There is snow everywhere, piled up on the sides of the roads. Really, there's some really cold areas on Salt Spring Island. So it's a higher elevation. The area you drive through, it's probably around, I'm going to say 800 feet above sea level, maybe 700 to 800 feet above sea level. So the snow hangs in there for a long time. November, December, tree season for my. Oh, cool. Right on, man. That's awesome. So you keep trees up for a long time, Ghost. No snow anywhere here yet. No, we've had 2 light ones here, gone fast. At this end of the island, it goes fast. And everything in the garden looks good. It did break one big branch off the big Heteromeles arbustifolia tree we have. It's a California holly, a toyon. And I looked up there the other day and I go, something's not right. It's kind of hanging down on the palm tree. So it snapped off a branch about this big, but that's okay. The tree's so big, you don't even notice. And it kind of opens it up a little bit. But yeah, that's the problem with snow here. It gets kind of wet and heavy. It's still in the 50s and 60s. Yeah, I talked to, well, actually, no, I didn't talk to Virginia today, but somebody I did a live stream on my other channel today. And one of the viewers in there lives 10 minutes from Virginia Beach. Love your palms. And Gabriel's palms. Thanks for tuning in. Right on. This is my second live stream today. Believe it or not, I did a 2-hour and 15-minute live stream video gate on my other YouTube channel. My place is, I'm sold on show a day or longer than most places in town. I'm in a cold microclimate. And that happens. I mean, you're 3 hours from VA Beach, Palm Planet. Okay, interesting. Usually dips if you're in a valley or if you're at a higher elevation. Yeah, they do hang on to snow longer. So where we are at the north end of Salt Spring Island, and I've showed you before, and I can show you again if you don't know where we are. I got to find my little mappy poo here. Where's my little mappy poo? Okay, so I'll get my map out here. Let me put this light on back here so it's not so freaking dark. We live on the very northern tip of Salt Spring Island, and because, thank you, Gabriel's Palms. You're awesome, Gabriel. We love you. So here's the map of Salt Spring Island. Okay, I'll get back far enough. Okay, so you can see how wide it is in some places. So when you get into these areas here, snow hangs on for a long time. There's mountains from one end to the other, right? I live way up here. Right up there, that's right. Wendy and I live right there. So it's very narrow. You see how narrow that land is? There's water on either side of us very close. So it does not a stick around long the snow. Anywhere near the seashore, snow goes really fast. Anywhere in here and in here, there's big mountains in here, 2,300 footers. It gets cold in here. There's a lake on top of one of these mountains down here, and it freezes all winter long, and you can skate on it. There's 11 lakes on Salt Spring Island. You can see the lakes. This is the biggest lake here. It's nearest to us. It's a few miles south of us, that one there. But this lake up on the mountain here, Rosemuggy or Spirit Lake, it actually freezes. Ghost, you're on top of a hill surrounded by trees. Okay, cool. Yeah, there's a lot of trees here too. We are surrounded by trees, but it is open. We do get a lot of sun in here too. And we're right across the street from the ocean. So the ocean is about 900 feet across the street from us. So I go across the street through a little trail and I'm at the beach, right? And so anyway, that is Salt Spring Island. And if you don't know where we are located in the southern Gulf Island. There's one viewer here that insists that we are not an island, we are a peninsula. He says, you're not an island, you're on a peninsula, and that's just high tide around your peninsula. It's like, well, that dude better get a better map or maybe a dictionary, because they wouldn't call it Salt Spring Island if it was a peninsula, would they? It is an island, and I can guarantee you that. I've been on this island for a few decades now, and not an island. You've probably seen the videos. The guy comments, and he's the same guy that says that's not a sable minor palm, it's a Camarops. Well, I've grown tons of each variety from seed. I think I know what a sable minor is, and I think I know what a Camarops is, right? And like somebody pointed out, which was very smart, a sable minor always produce like a heel. It comes off the bottom of the base. So they got this basically the subterranean little trunk, and then they pop up this little heel behind the trunk, right? That's what a sable minor does. Forgot to mention the birds of paradise are doing outside. Cool. Yeah, we have birds of paradise, but I threw it in the basement to be safe. We have a big one in a 20-gallon pot I've had for 20 years. Palms are everywhere in Vea Beach, Palmettos, Butia. And there's even, yes, probably even the occasional Washingtonia too. Loads. There's tons of them. Vea Beach is pretty mild. And it can get cold every so often, but on the most part, it's a pretty palmy and balmy area. Atlantic Avenue, if you drive down Atlantic Avenue, you will see lots of trackies and lots of palmetto palm trees. I've watched lots of videos on it. I talked to a lot of people there over the years on my radios, right? See on my radios there? I talk all over the state, so I kind of know what's going on in the U.S. I find out about the weather, and I've actually had people I've contacted there send me seeds too, which is kind of cool. I talked to a lot of people in Arkansas. I'm actually in the Arkansas Citizens Band radio group, and I check in on their channel on channel 1. And there's one guy I talked to, a really good guy, Steven. He lives about 2 hours north of the city of Warren, Arkansas, where the sable miners grow. And that's where he said he used to go hunting down there. They have alligators, which is kind of cool. The average highs in the 50s Fahrenheit in the winter. Nice, pleasant climate year-round, although humid for many months. Yeah, so it's a good climate there. You see, nice. You got to like VA Beach, man. That's awesome. Your freezes are your freezes wet and cold freezes here. Freezes here are dry. They are dry. When we get a freeze, it's usually with a high pressure system locked in. So if we're going to get a good freeze, it's usually like this. You're going to get the clear, cool conditions, and the dry air comes down. You get this dry Arctic air that comes down from Alaska. I talked to a guy in Alaska today for about an hour on my radio. He's just booming, and he was up by Fairbanks, Alaska. And yesterday, was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday I talked to 2 different guys in Alaska. Any Pam Anderson news updates? Not that I know of, but I heard she moved back to Ladysmith. That was the latest I've heard. But you know what? There's a lot of rumors around there. That's what we're getting. Yeah, that's what we get when we have a cold snap here. Our cold air comes from the north, and Alaska, unfortunately, is to the north of us. And Alaska is not a bad place, trust me. But if you see temperatures in the Gulf of Alaska hitting minus 30 and minus 40 degrees or whatever, then you got to be worried down here on the southwest coast, because often if the jet stream changes, it can pull that cold air right down the coast. And Alaska's a long way from us. It is not like right next door, but it's a long way from where we are, right? And the cold air from Alaska comes right down the coast, and then it kind of hits our warm, moist Pacific air, and it usually translates into a lot of wet snow. So that's why we can get a lot of snow here at times in a bad winter, because of that cold, dry air from Alaska coming down, mixing with the warmer, moist Pacific air, and it makes snow, and lots of it. And then usually the snow stops, and then the dry air just kind of lingers over us. The sun comes out, and it gets cold and clear without the wind. Caleb Lewis, how's it going? Nice trout you caught. I saw that on, I don't know if it was Instagram or somewhere, because I'm on Instagram and I know you are. That was a nice trout you had. They're about a foot of snow here. Was that right? Wow. And then next beach up coast is Ocean City in my state of Maryland, where the palms almost. No, that's interesting. But you know what? There are palm trees in Maryland for sure. Definitely. Yeah, that was a nice that was a beautiful trout you caught there. I bet you it tasted good. That was a rainbow, right? Not a cutthroat, rainbow trout. We have rainbow and cutthroat in our lakes here, and bass. We also have bass too, right? I smell dinner cooking. You know what I cooked? Wendy's cooking prawns. Wendy's cooking really nice breaded coconut prawns. I did rice, and I did Brussels sprouts. I cut them in half, and then I get a cast iron pan and put olive oil on them with some mushrooms and lots of garlic out of our garden. And then I roast those Brussels sprouts. I know a lot of people don't like them. And then I grate Parmesan on them and mix it in with some steak spice. Oh, it's good. Rainbow trout are invasive. Are they really? Oh, wow. Interesting. They're so good to eat. Although Shoe Television just made a video of some amazing hard. Lots of tracky sables, needle also. No way. Is that right? In Maryland. Wow. Cool. Oh, yeah. And Rehoboth, is it Rehoboth, Delaware? There are palm trees. I've seen them. There are trackies there too. We were fishing for hatchery steelhead. Oh, cool. We have steelhead here too. That's like a long, isn't that a landlocked salmon kind of like? A steelhead? They're eaten too. Wow, cool. Yeah. There are nice sable minors, and I have seen some nice Trachycarpus palms. And as they call that Rehoboth, Delaware or something? How do you pronounce that? I bought canned heart of palm and cooked it. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. I see it in the store, and it's expensive. It's about $5 a tin. I've eaten it a few times before. My seeds you sent me are still doing good. Supposed to have 5 degrees. Oh, cool. Right on. They're pretty tough plants. I'm glad you got those seeds. Did the guy in Nova Scotia ever? No. Well, the one guy did, but it was bull crap. The one years ago, or not years ago, was it last year or maybe earlier when I shot this video? He sent me a picture. It was on, because he messages me on Facebook on my Banana Joe like page. He sends me a picture of these towering Trachycarpus palms. And in the background, I notice a huge flawless Camerops humilis. So I took that picture and I posted it on one of my groups on Facebook, People Who Love Palm Trees and Exotic Plants. And you know what some people said to me? One guy said, that's a picture that he took from somewhere else. He took it off the internet, and it's not Nova Scotia, right? I mean, and it didn't look like Nova Scotia to me either. He's full of crap. Coastal Delaware is nice and palmy. Same latitude as DC, but is East Long. Cool, that's awesome. So palmy. You got to like coastal Delaware. Rehoboth, pronounced Rehoboth. Rehoboth. Okay, that's it. Because I know Boca Joe lives there. Joe Simone lives there. And yeah, these post pictures of the palms there. Seen a video of a Nova trackie today. Boxed in. Oh, yeah, okay. Because I heard the one that they boxed in Dartmouth is dead. The one that they boxed in, and it actually was on the news, it actually died. I have a lot of friends that actually live in Nova Scotia. One of my friends in particular used to live here on the coast, and he grew palm trees. He lives in Clark's Harbor. He's tried them several times, and the trackies just don't withstand it. They end up dying. And he's down in the southernmost on Cape Sable Island, and down in the southernmost tip of Nova Scotia where it's mild. And he says they don't grow there, man. His brother grows 30-foot trackies in his garden near Vancouver. He's brought him trackies, and they don't work without protection. You'd have to box them in. So, Cena video, yeah. So the one that they box in is dead. That's probably an old video. If that's the one I'm thinking of, it's at Dartmouth. On Dartmouth. Yeah, they died. They totally died, Palm Planet. It was actually on the news. Imagine if the U.S. made man-made river going from coast to coast 100 miles. 1 mile deep to stop the freezes. Made a river. They'd have to do a mountain, I think, right? A river. They'd have to do big mountains. See, the thing is, what we have here, we have the Coast Mountain Range, we have the Rocky Mountains to the east. So no cold air from the east ever gets to us here. Gonna go. Oh, elk hunting, sweet. My buddy that lives down the road, he came back and he got some deer. He was in Alberta. He got 2 hogs. They killed 2 hogs, wild boar, and he got 4 deer. Really awesome. So he was busy chopping up that meat. Virginia Beach might be a 9 then. It's not. They class it as a zone 8, which is crazy. I think it's higher than that. But if you look on the growing zone, Virginia Beach is zone 8, believe it or not, according to the growing zones. But I say there's no way. I said it has to be like a 9A for sure, a good 9A. And they get the heat units too. So anyway, yeah, he got some good meat. The wild boar is good stuff. It's definitely milder than that palm plant. I don't believe it's a zone 8. I've always said it's a 9. But you know what? Plants can't read growing zones, and I tell people that too. A plant cannot read a growing zone. You know what I mean? We have zone 9 plants in our garden too. Every day for the next 2 weeks, lows 10 to 15 Fahrenheit. Next is 4 Fahrenheit, so 10 to 15, not too bad. 4 Fahrenheit's getting down there, so make sure you mulch those palm trees, right? Give them a little mulch, man. That's what you got to do. Throw a few some leaves over them, whatever. So the ones that you got from me, are they outside, Caleb, or are they inside the house? I'm curious. Do you have them in the garden? Yes, sir. Cool. Awesome. They're pretty tough plants, man. You know, like, so all of our palm trees are outside. I have them in non-heated greenhouse. There's palms in there, lots of sable palms, but all the Trachycarpus palms that are in the nursery in 1 gallon and liner size pots to 5 gallon, they're all outside year round, man. Some of them sprouted up in the front yard by themselves. Cool. Yeah, they're amazingly tough palms. I mean, the warmest of DC might basically 8A, so no way VA Beach is the same. No, yeah, I agree, Palm Planet. I think it's 9. It's got to be 9. Same with Norfolk, Virginia. Norfolk, Virginia is very mild too. There's some nice palms, big oleanders there. Sent me sable minor seeds, and most of them are on their second. Oh, cool. Cool. If those are the ones from Washington, those are going to be good ones. If those are the ones from DC, those are going to be nice hardy ones. I got I'll tell you what ecotype I grow. I grow a City of Warren, Arkansas. I grow McCurtain County, North Carolina, South Carolina. We have blue sable minor. We have some from Texas, and we have sable Louisiana. I think there's sable Etonii in the greenhouse too. And we do have sable palmetto, and there's a few other ones. And then we have a lot of sables in the greenhouse. So that's cool. They should do well for you there. You should try needle palm too. Do needle palm. Hey, Wendy, how's dinner? Are you eating it? Okay. Okay. I'm getting hungry. So I got to work tomorrow. I got to work the next 3 days. So I get 4 days off every week, which is cool. So I got my retirement job and I work Tuesday to Thursday, which is a good thing, 9 to 5 p.m. And that's okay. Where I work is an awesome place because I get an amazing discount on groceries. It's hard to pass up. Are doing good. Oh, the ones down in the ravine thriving down there, man, just absolutely thriving. Yeah, the ones down the Swampsonii palms down in our deep ravine. I was down there the other day. It's like, man, they are growing. They're so green. Looks like they've been fertilized. They've never had any fertilizer, so they're growing in really forest, loamy, wet soil. Yeah, and the trachy seedlings from Canada super well. Thanks. Cool. Right on. Good. It's good to exchange seeds. I wish I could still send seeds to the U.S. It's just annoying how customs has been so sticky lately, right? It's the problem with them. To scratch my back. So just really sticky. There's one guy that's been bugging me some seeds, and he's in the States, but I said it's basically at your own because I always got to take a hit on it. So I sell on eBay. And I had to stop shipping to the States because the seeds were getting nabbed at customs. Same with the seedlings. I said, that's a real drag because then the buyer comes back on me and they want a refund. And I say, read it in my listing. I say, once the seeds or palm seedlings leave my hands or in the care of Canada Post, I cannot be responsible for loss or damage to any of my product, right? But still, people still want a refund. And then I take it, then I totally lose. Right. So I still give them a refund. So I had to stop doing it. It just sucks, man, and it's a bummer because most of my customers were in the States. Best customers are in the States. I've shipped to all states except Hawaii. The only state I've never shipped to, but I've shipped to all states in the lower 48. I've shipped to, I think, pretty much every province, believe it or not. Nova Scotia, I shipped a ton to. New Brunswick and Newfoundland. I don't know I've shipped up to Northwest Territories. Yukon, I don't remember if I've shipped there either. But the provinces, I certainly have. I've never had any seeds I've ordered. Yeah, they do it in the States, man. They're sticky. Justin is probably jealous of you. Yeah, Justin Trudeau, he's got to go, man. That dude is a bad dude. The guy screwing up our country, bad dude. He's kind of like the dude screwing up your country. They're probably brothers from another mother, or maybe Biden must be his dad. Or actually, no, it's Biden isn't his dad. It's Castro's his dad. That's why I call him Justin Castro, right? I better not get into the political thing here because I always get really choked, really upset because I just can't stand the guy that's running. Like, I don't wear these things, but when you go to the doctor, sometimes they make you wear these masks. So I made sure I bought this mask right here, and I wear this mask when I go there. Didn't they try? He's trying to do that, but it hasn't passed yet. It's funny. All the people in the parliament are against it. All the people that are in there are totally against what he wants to do. It's unreal what he's trying to do. He got rid of handguns. He banned handguns in July. I mean, I could go to Cabela's anytime if I had an art pal and buy a handgun. There are tons of handguns in there. You could always buy a handgun in Canada until Justin Trudeau came in. So we got those off the market. You know what's crazy? He thinks he's protecting Canadians. He's going to ban automatic rifles, and he's going to ban this, and he's going to ban that. If you wanted to, you could go into a nightclub with a couple of knives, a couple of dagger knives, and you could go and just start stabbing people. So he may as well ban knives too. Ban dagger knives. Ban vehicles. People drink and drive and kill people. That's dangerous, so he might as well ban vehicles too. It's just what he's doing does not make sense. The guy's a complete fool, man. Yeah, he's trying to ban it, but I don't know if it's going to pass. Biden's bad and Trudeau's bad. They're both complete morons, both part of the WEF. And more people need to wake up. They need to wake up to the nonsense what's going on. I woke up right from the beginning. Thank God. Thank God I did, man. And a lot of my friends did too. Right? Yes, we're all aware of that. UK got to the point where certain types of knife. They banned certain types of knives too? Are you kidding me? Unreal. So, you know something? So you look at these knives here. Okay, see this knife right here? I've had this knife since I was a little kid. I've had this knife since probably about 1969. Leather handle on it. You could take that knife and you could wear this on your side and you could go into a nightclub and you could just start stabbing people. You could kill a lot of people with that knife. Really, you could. No different than a gun. So Justin Trudeau, you better start banning. How about pocket knives? A ballpoint pen. You could be sitting on an airplane, so they ban everything else. You could come up to somebody and jab them in the neck with that pen and kill them. That's a dangerous thing. That's a weapon right there. So, Justin, you better ban ballpoint pens too. I want to call that guy a dumb you-know-what. Guy makes me sick, right? Seriously, you could kill somebody with a ballpoint pen. If you jab somebody into the jugular vein with a ballpoint pen or through the eye, you're going to kill them. So that becomes a lethal weapon. You know what? You want to know something really stupid? I'm going to tell you something really stupid. I've told some of you guys a story before. It was a couple of years ago, we were on Maui, and I bought a pineapple core. Okay, a pineapple core. And do you know what a pineapple core is? I'm going to go get it, and I'm going to show you, okay? I'm going to show you my pineapple core. Wait here, I'll be right back. I'm just talking about how stupid Justin Trudeau is. Okay, guys, I'm coming back. So, back a couple of years ago, we were in Maui, and when you buy a pineapple, it's much better to use a pineapple core to take it apart. So, this is a pineapple core. You see this thing right here? That is a pineapple core. You see this serrated edge here? It's not that sharp. So, what you do, you cut the top off the pineapple, and you take this thing right here. See how it looks like right there? And you screw it down into the top of the pineapple, and then it pulls it out in slices, and then you take this off. See this handle? And then you dump the pineapple out into a plate, and when you're done, you just put the handle back in. Okay, so I bought one of these for $10 on Maui. I'm getting through customs at Kahului Airport, and I got a bag full of stuff. I got a float I found on the beach. I got an old bottle I found, and a few other things that I had, which were totally fine to bring back. And I had this thing. I had this thing wrapped in paper. He put the paper and he unwraps it. This is the customs dude at Maui. And he says, "What is this?" It's like, how dumb can you be? The guy lives on Maui and he's never seen a pineapple core. Okay. So he says, "What is that?" And I said, "That is a pineapple core." And then he goes like this. And he gets on his little walkie-talkie thing and he calls another customs guy over. My wife and her mom are kind of laughing. They're sitting off the side because they go through. I always get checked. I don't know if it's a tattoos or what. They don't like the looks of me. Maybe they think I look sketchy. So anyway, his other buddy comes over with his badge on and his uniform, and he runs his fingers along here too. And he says, well, that could be used as a weapon. He says, you could make a mess of somebody's face with that. That's what he said to me. He says, you can make a mess of somebody's face with that. And you know what I said? I said, yeah, if his head was shaped like a pineapple. And you know what he did? He took it. He says, we will be taking that. And he took it and he threw it into his garbage bin. And I was freaking pissed. So there was this dude standing in line with an iPhone all tattooed up from Vancouver. And he says, hey, dude. He says, here, look at this. You can get this on eBay for $3.50 plus with shipping, right? Or adding shit. And he shows it to me. So as soon as I got home, I ordered one on eBay, and I actually got it cheaper on eBay than the one I bought in Maui. So there's the story, pineapple core. They thought this could be used as a weapon. You know, I could probably make a mess of somebody's face more with that pen if I started jabbing them in the face with it, right? You know what I mean? Come on. A pineapple core? Give me a break. He probably took it out of the bin after I left and took it home to core his own pineapples. Measure 114 goes to court on neck. Measure 114. Really cool. Good. Organs of court, pause and measure which bans magazines from being. Oh, that's like ours. That's what ours is too, Caleb. He wants to ban magazines over 10 rounds. That's what he's trying to do. You would be required to get a permit to take a class to get. Unbelievable. Well, I had to take I do have. So in Canada, if you want to buy a gun, you have to take a course. It was a 1-day course, all day. It was probably 13 hours long, the course. Then you have to you have to do a hands-on test, and then you have to do a written test, and you have to get above 80% on each. And I passed, thank God. And I passed my PAL, possession acquisition license. But if you want to get a handgun, you have to take an RPAL. So you have to go the next day and do another course. So that's what Justin Castro, the dictator, is trying to do. He's trying to ban any long rifle that holds over 10 round magazine capacity, right? And you can kill somebody with one bullet. It's just stupid, man. It's also a huge illegal gun market here in the UK. Yeah, if criminals will always get guns, what he's doing, he's punishing law-abiding citizens. You know what I mean? Shanks. Yeah, exactly. Trudeau's got to go. He's got to go to prison. And I would say charge him with crimes against humanity. That's called that the Nuremberg Code, didn't they? Biden, same thing, complete fool. That's the Hawaii flag behind me, you betcha. That is the Hawaii flag. We have Hawaii license plates up. Here's an older Hawaii license plate. That's 1981. That one right there. That's a Hawaii license plate right there. That's a mint one, eh? Brand new, still in the package. Isn't that a nice one? And then I got another one. I got a newer one here hanging up in front of my radio room. You got just printed a Glock 20. Wow, that's awesome, man. My buddy's got a 3D printer too. Salt Spring has its own flag. Yes, we have our own flag. It's got a red maple leaf in the middle, and one side is green, and the other side is blue. So green represents the flora, and blue represents the ocean around us. So yeah, and you can see in my videos, if you go to this channel, search engine, Salt Spring Island flag, we fly it out in front of our accommodations here. So yes, Salt Spring Island has our own flag. Yeah, and we have our own currency too. We actually have our own currency that's at par with the Canadian dollar. We use the Canadian dollar too, but we have our own stuff we can use here. Are ghost guns illegal? I don't know what a ghost gun is. Making your own? Probably, yeah. Well, I'm sure Justin Castro's made it illegal. They import them from Europe, Russia. Wow. Criminals can get anything, man. You know what I mean? They can get anything they want. It's no different than drugs. It's just, they'll always get them. Greetings from Toronto. Greetings from the Gulf Islands. Hope all is well in Toronto. A long way away from here. They are 3 hours ahead of us. So the time here is 5:54 p.m. Pacific time out here on the southern Gulf Islands. We're the same time zone as California, Oregon, and Washington. Although British Columbia has two time zones. We have two time zones here, right? We have Mountain Time and we have Pacific Time. I don't think there is a third time zone. I always thought in the north there was, but because Alaska is 1 hour behind us. But I don't know. Does British Columbia have three time zones? Maybe they do, and I don't know about it. I want to know. I got to find that out. Now I have to look that up. Now I have to Google that. Let's see. Does BC have three time zones? How many time zones in BC? Let's see what we have here. There are two time zones. Okay. Two time zones in BC. Australia has three time zones. Okay. And here in Canada, we have 4.5 time zones. Did you know that? 4.5 time zones in Canada. So there's Pacific time zone, which is me. There's Mountain time zone. There is Central time zone. There is Eastern time zone. There's Atlantic time zone. And then there's Newfoundland time. Newfoundland is different than Atlantic time zone. Even air rifles can be over. Oh, yeah. Even air rifles you could kill somebody with if you shot him in the frickin' eye. Yeah, Australia has three times. Australia's a big place. Australia is nearly as big as continental USA, believe it or not. It's a big place. People don't realize how big Australia is. I talk to Australia a lot on my radios. You can see them there. And so, yeah, I know very well how big Australia is, for sure. Aussies, good people. They're fun people. They import them over from Europe, Russia, American. Jersey and Guernsey have their own flags. Yes, they do. Yes, my friend got married on Guernsey. Seriously, that's stupid. Yeah, it's rare that you see people in the middle of Australia. Most live on the coast. Yeah, well, it'd probably be too hot in the middle, too. You got the outbacks. It's like here, too. Most people live by the U.S. border. In Canada, I think most of the population is near the U.S. border. Are you aware of the... Yes, I'm aware of the Gold Coast. Yeah. One of the guys I work with used to live in Australia. He actually taught skiing up on the mountains by Kosciuszko, right? And we grow a lot of Australian plants in our garden, too. Yeah, thanks, Small Snake. Enjoy your videos. Thanks for watching. And also check out my other channel, too. If you like radio stuff, check out Jungle Joe C Video Gates. I actually have 3 YouTube channels, but one of them I haven't uploaded to since 2010, which is a long time ago, right? I started this channel in early July 2010, and the first one I started, I think, in 2008, and my other one I started in 2012. Joe's Bigfoot. That was Wendy's. Yeah, that was Wendy's video. She actually shot that video. It's on Gulf Island Rock. That she shot in early August 2013, long time ago. And we don't know if it really was a Bigfoot, but you know what? A lot of people seem to think it was a Bigfoot. And she actually made some money on that video, which is pretty cool because the History Channel paid her for it, and they used it on their show. The proof is out there. Christmas on Salt Spring, good. And hoping for another green Christmas. It's rare we get a white Christmas, but once in a blue moon, it can happen. In the long-range forecast, the weather has been very good here. So Christmas is good. Christmas is quiet. We still got to put our tree up. It was a lot busier when my kids were smaller, but my kids are all grown up now. My youngest son is on his way to 23. Next year, he'll be 23. But yeah, our kids are grown up. Wendy's kids are all grown up too. So Christmas isn't really a big deal for us anymore. It used to be a really big deal, but not so much anymore. When you have younger kids in the house, Christmas is a big deal, right? So we're going to go for a friend's place for Christmas dinner. And we always make some hors d'oeuvres. I like to call them hors d'oeuvres. We make some hors d'oeuvres the night before and put them out, some snacks to eat. Have you thought about proteas? Yeah, no, we do have native orchids on our island. We do have some Cymbidium orchids in pots. And yeah, no, I know proteas. They're native to Africa. Yeah, I have. There's actually a hardier one from native to Table Mountain. I think that's where it is. One of those mountains in there that might be okay in a sheltered spot here. Oh, my Xmas tree is it really? That's the Vichia Morillii. I call it Vichia Morillii, the Christmas palm from the Philippines. Seattle has like 6%. Yeah, that's like here too. once every 10 years or so, there's a chance you might get some snow, right? We're the same. Like I say, we're only 100 miles north of Seattle as the crow flies. It's not that far south of us, Seattle. Like I say, radio talk, people on the South End or Island can talk to radio, talk to people in Seattle on their two-way radios like locals, right? And I did talk to, about a month ago, I talked to a guy in Whidbey Island in my vehicle. I was driving in my truck, and a guy came in there. I says, where are you from? He says, oh, I'm on Whidbey Island. I go, oh, that's a pretty good trip. Pretty good trip to talk from Salt Spring Island to Whidbey Island in my truck with my two-way radio, which is cool. So there you go. Gotta like Seattle. Seattle's a good place. I hope to get there sooner than later. You know, I really want to plan some sort of little trip next year. Wendy and I have not been to Hawaii since December 2019. We got to go somewhere, even if it's not Hawaii. We got to go down to the Oregon coast. I keep saying to Wendy, we got to go to the Oregon coast. We have to go down to like Brookings, Oregon. She's never been, I don't think, to Brookings, Oregon, and stay in the hotel down there and just do some videos of some cool palm trees. They have so many palm trees in Brookings, Oregon. Would you? Yes, I would if I had the money to go there. And, my boss when I was younger was Japanese. He was from the island of Kyushu, and his wife too. And Japan would be a pretty cool place to visit too. And they grow some really cool plants, especially in the south. I mean, there's lots of cool plants on Honshu. I don't know about Hokkaido, but if you get into the southern islands, you go down to Okinawa, it's like freaking Hawaii there, right? Japan is very expensive, yeah. Did you know Tokyo has coconut palms? No way. I had no idea. I know they'd probably grow in Okinawa. Just more expensive than Australia. Really? Hawaii's expensive too. Hawaii's really $50 worth in my truck today. It was half full and it filled it to full. Something like that. Oh, there goes my stream. Stream connection just died there for a sec. I'm going to have to go soon anyway. I think stream just cut out. Dinner is going to be really ready soon for me here. Seattle is actually pretty nice. Yeah, no, I like Seattle. But yeah, I got to go for dinner soon. Wendy says it's ready. And she made prawns. I made some really good stuff too. I get musabaju to overwinter in the ground zone to cut the stock. Cool, yeah. And people do that. I know a guy that overwinters it in Zone 5 in Ottawa, Canada, where our Prime Minister lives, the evil tyrant dictator. Island of Tokyo as island in Tokyo. That is crazy. That I've never heard of. That I need to Google now. It must be really mild there. There's also Jeju Island, South Korea, that has lots of palm trees too. Lots of Washingtonia palms grow on that island in South Korea, off of South Korea. Jeju Island in South Korea. Ogasawara. I gotta write that down. I'm gonna Google that after this live stream, and then I can find some pictures and maybe post them on my site. Ogasawara Island, Japan. Cool. I'm going to find some pictures of coconut palms and post them in my group, People Who Love Palm Trees. If you're on Facebook and you like palm trees, join my Facebook group. I think we're getting, there's 17,000 and something members on that group now worldwide. So people post some pretty cool stuff on there. 3 places in East Asia you want to visit. Hong Kong would be good, yeah, because they grow lots of palms there. South Korea, cool. And Japan. Well, there's Korean writing on my arm right there. I got that tattoo done in, I think it was Juneau, Alaska. I got that one done at Pair of Dice Tattoo. Not Paradise, Pair of Dice. So I got that tattoo. That's Korean right there. And I got my instructor to write that out for me. And then I took it up there when I went to Alaska, and I got that tattooed on my arm right there. So that is Korean right there. So I know lots about Korea. Mediterranean in downtown Seattle, 2 medium-sized cameras. No, there's so many nice palms in Seattle, man. I've been on a garden tour. I remember when I went on a Palm Society garden tour there in 1997. Went through the Magnolia District at North Seattle, man. You should see some of the freaking gardens there, dude. It is Palm Central Station. Anyway, guys, I'm going to roll. Thanks for joining the live stream. This is a pretty good live stream. And it's amazing how many people actually join in the other one on my Video Gate channel. A lot of radio operators go on that one too, but we're not plant talking. Well, Cal goes in there. Cal plant talks. So, which is cool. Anyway, guys, have a good night. I'm going to go eat my prawns, Brussels sprouts with rice, and I'm just going to enjoy dinner with Wendy. All right. So, yeah, lots of palm trees in Seattle. Balmy, palmy climate down that way for sure. I've seen them with my own eyes, and there's some old palm trees in Seattle too. You need to see Walt Rockefeller's garden in North Seattle. He started planting palms there in 1965. Okay, so it looks like his yard should be in San Diego, California, not Seattle. It's freaking awesome. He's got a 15-foot yucca, 15-foot yucca gloriosa in his front yard, 15 feet of trunk. Planted that in 1965 too. So it's probably the biggest yucca. I would say it's probably the biggest yucca gloriosa growing in Washington State in Walt Rockefeller's yard in Seattle. Got needle palm, sable minors there. He's got all that. So he's got a big palmetto in his garden too. Planted the palmetto years ago. It's probably got about 6 feet of trunk on it now. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Cheers and aloha from Salt Spring Island. I will see you next time. I'll try to do a live stream here maybe on Friday. I'm off, or maybe I can do one Thursday night. Thursday is my last day of work. And then I get 4 days off. So maybe Thursday night, I'm off at 5. I get home. I'll try to do a live stream Thursday. So tune in Pacific time here. I'll try to do one around between 5 and 6. If I'm home at 5, it'll be between 5 and 6, something like that. All right? Or after dinner. But stay tuned. Take care, guys. Cheers to you.